We've lived in the north for so many years, and the reward the Hausas could give my poor father was to kill him. He was the first man killed in the May massacre. After being chased for some few yards, they shot at him, and then when they got him, they had to slice him into two, like, you know, when you want to slice your bread into two. A human being being sliced into two. Can you imagine such a thing? Biafra is going to emerge as a nation. You know, despite the support of Britain, Russia, Egypt, and some other friends of Nigeria, we all will surely come out as a nation because we are fighting a just cause. Even a little child on the street will tell you this. We shall never go back to Nigeria again. God's grace will surely emerge as a nation. And so, as far as this war continues, we'll fight to the last man.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, kiss goodbye to Biafra. Biafra can have any beyond years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the goodness of the Lord. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That's Chiku Okike Abiam left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. And Broku Lakananti, Biafra Gahabia. Ana Akatiana Tibi. Ana Agotianobu. Going to a native doctor, Dibi Anyanzu, cannot save you. If you want Biafra, and I am making audition, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwukika is our shield and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do audition. We believe in the protection that Chukwukika can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. We don't commune with spirit. It's sorcery.
Yeah, thank you for joining in. I want to welcome you to the live broadcast today, Friday, the 19th day of May 2023. Thank you for joining wherever you're joining from. This is Biafra Global Network, and my name is Kelechi Ambrose, and I'm here as always to dissect issues around and happening around us. We have come to understand that the enemies within are the strengtheners, or those who give energy to the enemies without. And that is why it is very imperative that we'll treat the issue of the enemies within. The reason why Biafra has been delayed and has almost been like it is being denied, and the reason why we have struggled so long and so much, is because of the internal enemies. The reason why Philip Effiong gave up and Ojukwu was not very effective, in spite of the fact he was resilient and he was able to take the law and the war into the point of tenacity and resilience, and he was able to sustain that war for 3.5 years, was because he had the spirit to push. But there were forces that made him not to win, and that forces is not Nigeria agent, it's not the British, but the internal enemies. The reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has struggled all this while, in spite of what he has been saying, and in spite of how much he has been educating us, and in spite of how much he has been saying, the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now in the hands of the enemies is not because he is not standing on the path of truth. It's not because the enemies without are too strong, but it is because the enemies within have become so much allowed to become nuisance and critically a delay, a ridicule, and of course causing jeopardy, and of course causing us to be at the point of risk and all of that. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have suffered all of these because of these enemies within, and so you must understand the concept of dealing with enemies within. Whenever you hear somebody tell you something about an enemy within and trivialize the issues of enemies within, you should understand that they don't want you to survive and you to succeed. And what I've come to do today is to speak more on the enemies within. And these are the people who actually sold Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the enemies within. Whether they sold him directly, whether they are selling him indirectly, or whether they are doing what is called, when you talk about afterthought, after the whole process, and you capitalize on the situation and and carry out your own evil deeds. And these are the things we have to expose. And that is why Biafra Global Network is formidable, because truth will always be sustained on this platform. And truth will sustain the programs on this platform. So if you are here and you want to hear the truth, if you are a true lover of truth and you want to always hear the truth, then this is the right place, because this is where we're going to expose everything that needs to be exposed. We expose truth and we expose evil. We expose evil to destroy evil. We expose truth to erect and sustain truth. That is what we do here. And I want to welcome you because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it, and of course you heard it in that particular audio I played, that it is only by truth we are going to get Biafra. Rather, if we don't go by truth, we are going to run around in circles. You must be on the platter of truth and honesty to achieve Biafra, or else you're wasting your time, you're wasting your resources. If I don't continue on the path of truth, I'm going to be here wasting my money, getting data to broadcast, always buying data to make research and to get information and all of this stuff. I will be wasting my money. So if what I am investing must be invested, let me just put that word. If what I'm investing, in quotes, is truly being invested, then I must pursue that investment with the narrative of truth. Or else, whatever I do, I spend my money, I spend my energy, I go on social media to talk about freedom, I go on social media to rant and do all I do. I am only an e-frog, except I stand on the platter of truth. That is when there will be speed in achieving what we have come for. Now we are struggling today. The enemies are causing havoc and causing so much damage to so many things that we are beginning to understand now that it is because we trivialize the presence of the enemies within. We trivialize things that have to do with the enemies within us, the enemies within the context of our nation. We so much take it for levity that we sometimes just overlook, and yet we're chasing after the enemies without. And the truth here is the energy that the enemies without exudes is only produced by the enemies within. See, the venom of the enemies within is what helps the enemies without to be sustained. The enemies within are those ones who are close, and they're going to sting you or something, or bite you, or give you, put into you, fuse into you, or infuse in you that venom that will destroy you. The enemies without will only come and bury you after you have been killed. That's what they do. So whenever you see the enemies without coming strongly on you, know that the enemy within has done something to give them a clue on how to deal with you. And that's what we're doing here. I want to appreciate you all who are standing on the path of truth, and I want to thank you for joining. Before we go on, of course, let me go on the path of, let me look at the comment section here. Of course, Comrade Ken is here. Good day, Comrade. Thank you so much, Comrade. Appreciate you. Good day. Conan View is here also. Conan View is here also. Thank you so much, and said, well done. Thank you so much for being here. And I know that today is going to be a real exposition. I just decided to make some exposition today because I want to take the people, I want to navigate through the idea, the concept of the devil, patronizing the devil. Even if you take me to patronize the devil, that concept. And I want to elaborate on some facts here. I'm going to be using the scripture also. I'm going to be looking at the book of John chapter 10, and I'm going to be looking at verse 44 also. Some of you know that scripture, some of you know that part of scripture, and some of you understand it, some of you don't understand it, some of you just read it and you come to understand it to be the devil, and when you talk about the devil, you just think of somebody having horns and somebody black somewhere and someone who is somewhere, fighting you. But the devil actually is in everything around you, including your mind. The devil is in your mind because he tries to suggest to you things that are contrary to your existence and things that are contrary to the truth that you should actually patronize. But before we go on, let me play what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us to do, when he is arrested or kidnapped. He gave us an order, and that order is still standing. And I know that some people have been trying to call also. I don't know what those calls are for, but for those of you who want to be part of this order of this plan to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you can always call that number +212 707 898 194. When you call that number, we'll get you in, and then you can work with that. We work with us. The priority here now, as I told you the other time, is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and very, very critically is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We must now see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have sacrificed so much. You must evangelize on behalf of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is not just saying I want to be part of it, but you must evangelize other people to be part of it, because we want all Biafrans now to prove to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu they love him. If you love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, this is not a time to chase clout and chase your personal ambition and chase whatever you're thinking and dancing and singing and getting your praise everywhere and getting your bounce on to get things about yourself and flaunt your ego and your selfish desires and ambition around, and then chase clouts and all of that. This is not a time for champagne, and this is not a time for pressing of breast and dancing on social media. This is the time to talk about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is what we're here for. But today I'm going to be opening up and revealing to you facts. Now, see, let me tell you something. For you to leave, you remember one time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking to us, he told us something critically. He said that the reason why Britain today is developed, and when Britain came with the concept of reasoning, that means not only would they now begin to look at things like they used to do, looking at dealing on spiritual matters. We have become so spiritual that we forget that we have a brain that is connected to the realm of the spirit. When your brain functions in the realm of the natural only, you begin to make some silly, stupid decisions. But when your brain is connected to a spiritual procedure that is harnessed in the realm of the mind by intuitive approach or connection to the realm of the spirit, then you are then formidable enough to face your world. We have a world that is of spiritual and of physical. And that's why you have the soul, and you have this body, and you have the spirit. Now, the spiritual side of us is connected to us as our spirit, of course, the spirit of God being the candlelight of man. The spirit of man is connected to God, but it needs the realm of the soul to amplify and get information, because it is on the realm of the soul that you reason. So when you get information from the realm of the spirit, you can only do that anyways when your spirit is connected to that source of the spiritual sphere or ambience of existence, because the spiritual is eternal, but the natural is restricted because it is part of the spiritual, even if it is a mortal or a limited format of operation in the natural world. So I want you to understand these things in the context of what we do. When you find someone who is limited in their reasoning, their mindset is disconnected from the spiritual side of them. It's only their mindset only runs on the platter of the emotion. So whatever they feel, they reason, and when they reason with their emotion, they come with wrong conclusions and decisions. That is why someone could see clearly today that Simon is scamming Biafrans, stealing from the people, and doing lots of evil. And because they are emotionally clouded, their mindset have been emotionally clouded, they are restricted from reasoning because their reasoning process or procedure is not connected to the spiritual side of information. So they are restricted because they are now natural and emotional only. And at the realm of emotion, all you do is you process information based on the emotional disposition that you possess, which is limited because you need the spiritual side of it to harness and buttress everything you need to know. And that's why we have the problems. So we're going to be going deep into this, but listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Watch this.
The worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPAB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes.
2 million.
I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir.
I will be there. Hey, we take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, before I go deep into the things I want to do today, first I want to talk about what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. You are under oath. Now, some of us don't understand what oath means. Sometimes we think oath is going to one shrine or somewhere to make some incantation and say some stuff, and then you now say you're under oath. But before I do that, I'm first going to make you understand something that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said one certain time, or sometimes he has been saying that, he has said that several times, not just sometimes, several times. Now, he said that Britain became a developed nation when they left the realm of thinking that the spiritual is only about carrying out activities that are just seen at that point of spirituality, and disconnecting it from how we can reason. Now, let me tell you something about the reasoning. The reasoning is the physical faculty that the spiritual puts on the natural world in our head, so that we can actually reason out things that we can process. Now, the ability to process, it's not natural, it is spiritual, especially when it is connected to some things that are well analyzed to give us effective definition. Now, let me explain that. Britain, let me explain it with this analogy. Britain today became very developed, and they became a developed world when they began to patronize the concept of reasoning. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taught that several times, so I don't need to talk about much, but I just want to point it out here so that you can understand. Now, what they did is this: they used to be as spiritual as the people in the zoo are today, and as most of us who are, are even outside the zoo, yet we continue in that realm, and that's because we have been programmed from childhood, growing up, to think that everything that has to do with development and everything that has to do with success is about praying and fasting and crying and shouting and hitting and sowing seed and all of that. We have been misled to think that that is what it is. But sowing seed is very critical, because sowing seed has to do with soil. If you want to sow seed, you sow seed on the soil. And soil, anything that is productive is your soil. When you sow seed into your business, you are sowing seed, and that especially when your business is going to be profitable to humanity. When you sow seed into a business, when you invest into a business, you are sowing seed to germinate. Especially when the business is well planned and you sow the seed, that means you invest. Sowing seed is another way of saying investing. You must understand this. It is not by taking money and going to give one man somewhere in one ministry who says you should sow seed, and you think when you give them the money you will not get. I bet you can never get that money back, because that is not a soil. That is not a soil. The man is not a soil. You can't put money into somebody's hands because he told you to, and then you think you only put money into where there's a need. Anywhere you find need, that is soil. And how does that mean? How do I mean by that? Not how does that mean? Well, somehow it can still mean the same thing. Now, when God told the children of Israel to sow into the lives of the Levites, because they were priests selected and chosen by him to serve in the temple or to serve God in the land on behalf of Israel, God had already made it clear that these guys are not going to be engaged in daily, activities like you, and they are not having possessions. So I have made their lives a soil. So when you sow seed and tithe into their lives, you have actually sown into a soil. Now, that was because there was a need for a nation like the Levites to administer the procedures of spiritual activities on behalf of Israel. And so they were not meant to do, and let's not go into that detail because it will take me so much to explain that, but I'm going to discuss that more on Sunday. Those, especially those who are talking about Christianity, who are talking about Jesus Christ, Yehoshua, and all of that, and having a confusion about God and all of these details, we're going to be discussing that on Sunday. I'm going to try to make sure that on Sunday we discuss that basically. Now, listen, what this. Britain began to get involved in the matter of reasoning. So when they get spiritual revelation, when they get an idea, what they do is they subject it to reasoning, and then they process that information in different ways to have different understanding about that information. Now, the reason why in the zoo or in people who are Africans who have been brainwashed by the British style of Christianity is this, the British brought their style, and then those who are Africans who understood it in that way because of our fetish way of operation. When Christianity was brought in, they converted it into fetish procedure and used it to mislead the people. So when Britain brought the corrupted Jesus or the corrupted Christ, the corrupted agenda of Jesus, that means not Jesus, the Jesus of the Jews. That means the British presentation of Jesus now, in the sense that they now recreated religion out of Christ, out of Jesus, the Son of God. They now created a religion out of it and brought the religion and used it as a means of misleading Africans. Suddenly, after they did that, what next happened was this. The people who also were recipients, the Africans who are recipients of that shenanigan, what they now did was this. They already had a fetish procedure of approaching spiritual things. And so when the doctrine of Christ came in, they merged the two, and then they began to manipulate people using that, because they saw the loophole from what Britain brought, the loophole of exploiting people with the concept of Christianity, the religious Christianity now, in the British way. So the traditionalists, the people who are local, began to see the loopholes, and then they capitalize on the loopholes, adding it with the traditional system to defraud the people. That is why you can hear a story of what happened in Kenya, that over 201 bodies have been exhumed from the east coast of Kenya by a man who used to be a taxi driver, and then he got into religion using Christianity and telling them they have to die fast because the world is coming to an end. In fact, one of the women who was rescued today was still screaming that she wants to go back and continue the fast, because she is saying that stopping her from the fast, that was what she was saying, that stopping her from the fast was like getting her into the dark world and making her go against Christ. She was screaming that she wants to go back to the fast and die and fast and die. Over 201 people have been exhumed, and 600 and something bodies are still missing. 201 bodies have been exhumed in Kenya because of religion. Now, what happened? They were manipulated to believe. Some of them were strangled. Some of them were brutally killed. But you see someone who has heard the story of all what's going on, the person is still insisting, I want to continue that path because I believe that is how that's what Christ wants for me. You know why? That is the same thing that is happening to us in Africa. We have been manipulated. So we now subject our reasoning to a corrupted program, a corrupted spiritual program, so that when facts come our way, we don't process the information. So Britain is developed because they approached the reasoning faculty very, very effectively and all of that. And that became very, very important in their lives, you know, and all of that. Thank you so much, Edith Nadu. Good to have you here, you know, and thank you for joining. Conan View says Britain began to subject their thoughts to reason and moved away from superstitious belief. Yes, that is it. So superstitious beliefs in the sense that religion, you know, in the style of Britain became superstitious approach to the things that are real. Now let me bring it now. Let me go to what Mazin Amekano was saying. He was talking about oath. You are under oath, and which means that you must listen to me. What he meant by under oath was not about going to a shrine. Remember, he has told you that he doesn't believe in all those RC and those nonsense. When you are told that to say that you believe in the program or you believe in a project, that's an oath. When you open your mouth to say to people, I believe in what we're doing here and I'm supporting it, that's an oath. When you speak in a group and you said, in this group, whatever we do here is we're going to collectively doing it and I'm not going to sabotage this group, it's an oath. When somebody tells you that Christ loves you and you say, oh, I accept that Christ, I love Christ too and I want to be part of that Christ, it's an oath. Because when you accept anything at a particular time, you are already under a covenant with that thing. That's why even the Bible says that somebody who even, whenever Paul was telling the Corinthians, he was saying that don't you even know that even when you sleep with a woman, just whom you are not even you have not done any traditional stuff to, and all of that, as long as you have sex with her, you're already married to her. So some of us are married to 100 women or 200 women. Some ladies are married to 500 men. That's by the way, anyways. So now, oath is anything you agree to that is significantly important and relates to a fact or a pursuit in life. That's what oath is. Anything you accept by your will, by your decision, by your volition, by saying that, yes, I accept this, and you decide to follow after it, pursue after it, especially when that thing is very critical and important. When that thing has a purposeful destination. The issue of Biafra is its purposeful destination. Now, I'm going deep, but I don't want to speak because I want to go into the revelation here, the devil being patronized here. That is my focus here today. But let me just give this brief, before I go into it, because I'm being led to say so many things. So I want you to understand, Biafrans, the reason why I brought the issue of reasoning is because some of you have decided to believe anything and follow anything, as long as your emotion is involved. And that's why I was talking about the issue of emotion. Oh my God! Oh, but the DOS have failed us. If Simon goes now, what will happen? Whom are we going to follow? Emotion. 2, stupidity. Because you think that you can achieve anything by lies. Now that brings me to the topic today: patronizing the devil, or the devils. Patronizing devils. Revealing how devils, Satan, are. Remember, devils, because all of them are branded in one name, Satan. When you talk about Satan, you're talking about a multifaceted dimension of lies and deceit. Because devils are different kinds of programs under the auspices or the brand name of Satan. So when you talk about devils, you're talking about so many beings that are subject to one particular being who is called Satan. And they work for him. So they are part of him. Basically, they are one. So when Simon says that even if it means to patronize the devils or Satan, he's talking about a procedure and one thing that I want to tell you about now today. Now, let me tell you this. In the book of John, chapter 10, verse 44, let me try to open it in scripture in the Bible to see if I can read it. Sorry, chapter 8, not chapter 4, chapter 10, sorry. John chapter 8, let me open it and see how I can read it. Chapter 8, verse 44. I think I'm there now. Okay, I have my Bible here. I'm always having my Bible by my side because I believe in this word, very powerful word that can transmogrify any life for purposeful living. And this book is loaded with information that some of you trivialize it because you think that this book belongs to Britain. That's where you're losing it and losing it. Now, he says in verse 44, John chapter 8, verse 44. Now, please, I want you to look at your Bible. If you don't have a Bible, just listen critically and very carefully so you can get the facts, basically, because everything we're going to be exposing today and revealing is seriously embedded in this scripture. And what Mazen Andekanu said, and I'm going to play what he said again. Now, listen to it. He said, ye are of your father. Now, this is Yehoshua Mashiach talking here. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God, talking. He said, ye are of your father, the devil. And remember, he said, your father, the devil. He's the devil. And at the same time, you have devils who sum up to be devil and Satan. So he said, ye, he was talking to the Jews, you know, and the scribes and the Pharisees and all of that, who were just coming to mouth some stuff and all of that. He said to them, he said, ye of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do. Now, when it comes to the facts here that I want to point out, now first he talks about father. That means source. The word source is when you say Abba, you talk about father, that's source. So when he says ye are of your father, the devil, that means ye have your source in a being called the devil. And you will do according to the lusts that is in you that springs from your source. Now, what is lust here classified into, or what can it be defined to be? When you talk about lust, then you are looking at the realm of the emotion. Am I correct? Because I want us to be very brilliant scholars here, because I want to go to the fact of the devils and Satan Simon was talking about, so that you can understand that when people do things, they know what they are doing, not just because they said it. Don't just believe what Raph, that Ephraim just said. He wants to prove to you that he's tough. No. Or he's proving to you this is how tough he wants to, this is how far he can go. How far can you go to patronize demons? How can you patronize demons to prove that you are going far, when the people that you are working against are possessed by these demons that propels them? How can you how can you patronize the force that is propelling your enemies against you? The force that is propelling your enemies against you would actually defeat you when you come to it. Am I correct? Now let's go on, because I'm going somewhere here. Ye are of your father. That means ye are of your source. The devil. Personified. The devil. It's a person. And the lust of your father ye will do. Now, that means there is an emotional side or an emotional connection to this source, that anytime you are of that source, you will always project the contents or the properties or the ingredients of that source. That means every action you carry out will be defined by the features of that source. Am I correct? We are going somewhere. Just listen. He was a murderer from the beginning. He was a murderer from the beginning. Who was a murderer from the beginning? The source, which is the devil, that is propelling the people to carry out the lusts based on the features that the devil has. Now, Jesus now says to them that that your source has been a murderer from the beginning. That means from time that cannot even be put in calculation. Now, from the beginning means that from the time the devil was created to the time that he lost it, he became a liar, or he became the fullness of the lusts that you project in your attitude. Now we're going to go into that word lust so that you can understand this. You can understand this, because I want to open your eyes today. I decided to speak today on this line so that people can understand this very, very well. And I said, he was a murderer from the beginning. Now, what does it mean to murder? It means to cut off. It means to kill. it means to make inexistent, natural, and then from the natural, to take off from the natural world, or to sniff life out of, to get life out of. Now I'm going to tell you how Simon has been a murderer. Now that connects to the concept of lust, which is a feature of the source, the devil. Now I'm going to tell you so many things about how our people have been murdered. I'm going to tell you enough so that we can link this to the devil, and then the devil, he professed that he's going to patronize, which of course he was telling you already that he is patronizing this devil. You must understand these things in criticalness, because you must exude that power of your energy in your mind to understand the statement people make, giving you an impression or giving you a clue to an impression that is hidden in their statement. Before Simon came out to tell you that even if it means to patronize the devil, then you should understand that he was not just talking because he was just considering the devil. No. You must understand that he's speaking because he has a full grip on the facts, the features, and the dictates of the devil, whom he is patronizing. And that is why you see the signs by the people who are dying, the ESM destabilized, the men being killed. I'm going to give you all of this fact, but let's read it. He said he was a murderer from the beginning. That is one of the features of the devil, which is being displayed by lusts by the people who are of the devil. Now let's watch it. I don't know if we are really understanding this lesson today, because we're going to come down. I'm going to bring it down and bring it to the context of what we're learning, so that you know that when somebody Mazin Namikano never ever made any statement talking about even if it means to patronize the devil. In fact, anytime people get worse, he makes you understand that these are evil people and these are the enemies, and these evil people are of the devil, and we don't patronize the devil. We go for what is righteous, because what we are chasing is righteous. You cannot go into the camp of evil to try to get anything that is good. When you get into the camp of evil, what you see is evil, and that is what you will express, and that's what you're going to display. That is what you can catch. But when you begin to talk about patronizing the devil, then you are already out of track, because you can't be on track and at the same time be out of track. It's either you're out of track or you're on track. And when you are on track, you are not out of track. And when you are out of track, you are not on track. It's as simple as that. And people must come to understand how these things function, because we have two worlds. Let me call it two worlds: the natural world and the spiritual world. The spiritual world is also embedded in us. That is why sometimes we always speak spiritual, because there's a spiritual part of us that we can never leave. Even the man who says there's no God has a way he speaks about something that is unknown, that is resident in mysteria, that is in the realm of mystery. You see someone who says there's no God, and yet he talks about things that he doesn't know. He tells you that there are some things that are beyond the normal or the human reasoning. You know why? He is still patronizing the realm of mystery that he doesn't understand. And the realm of mystery is controlled by the mystery, which is God himself. Because if it is beyond your reasoning and it is beyond you, then it is not beyond that original concept of mystery. Because it is in the realm of mystery, which means that mystery holds it, mystery houses it, mystery controls it, and it is beyond you. If it is beyond you, because there's so many things about this world that science have not even been able to discover. So if it is beyond us, and there are some things we don't understand that are there in the realm of mystery, they are just visible, and that is just for us to explore the realm of mystery and keep exploring and finding out and seeking and finding and seeking and finding. That's what it takes to get these things, to bring them into the natural, and then people can begin to wonder. Now you can imagine, it was in 1949 or so, the first handset that was produced by, what's the name of that man now? I can't remember his name now. Oh my God. The first time he took that stuff and made it call, people were saying, what is this? How can you be speaking into this kind of thing, to this large box, to somebody else somewhere else? And the person is responding. It was like a mystery. But there's a level of intelligence he got into, that helped him plunge into the realm of mystery to get facts on things that he could do. Sorry, that came into the realm of his mind by revelation based on the fact that he sought to solve that particular problem. Now watch this. Now let me finish the scripture before if I continue. He said he was a murderer from the beginning, and then he says now that and abode not in the truth. Now these are the things I'm pointing to you here so that you can understand. Now remember, Mazin Ambekan is talking about truth, right? Now here we are now. This scripture is telling us of a particular realm of lies. That means the source that these people operate on does not operate in truth, but operates in lies. No, it's not Alexander Bell. It's not Alexander Bell. No, I'm talking about handsets now, not just the telephone, but the handset, the mobile set, the mobile set. What's his name? He just died recently. Oh, I remember. Now he says here from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks, he speaketh lie. He speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now who is being expressed here? The devil. The devil is being expressed here, that he's the father of lies. Now let me take you to the realm of lie so that we can liken it to what we're doing, and then I will expose what Simon is doing to you, so that people can understand. Because when people make statement, that is why in courts, whenever you are going to be arrested, not in courts now, when you're going to be arrested by the police, they tell you to keep quiet, because whatever you say will be used against you. Because you don't know the value of words, and you don't know the criticalness of words. Sometimes we don't know these things, and so because we don't know these things, we tend to get into error by saying things that we're not supposed to say. And of course, some people also know what they're saying, but they say them in the context of trying to make you feel that they actually made it in innocence. And that is what is happening in this particular matter. Now, some of them, Simon's e-frogs, are making you think that Simon was just making a statement to show you the level of anger in him on how far he can go to do anything. No, you can't project to me that you can consult the devil to get me free, because freedom is not in the devil. Freedom is not in the devil. So if freedom is not in the devil, then you cannot tell me that you can go as far as reaching out to the devil, who does not have in his archives the doctrine of freedom. You can't tell me that he doesn't have freedom. You can't tell me that you get freedom from a bosom that does not have the concept of freedom or the narrative of freedom. So if you tell me that you can patronize the devil, that Mazin Ambekan said that we don't patronize devil, we don't go to Odeshi, we don't go to all of these things because they are rubbish and nonsense. Mazin Ambekan talked about truth and all of that. Now let's go to the context of the scripture now. That's John chapter 8, verse 44. Now I want you to go and study that scripture very well so that you can understand from the point I'm coming. Now, first, the scripture tells us there that the father of liars is the devil. And it tells us that ye are of your father, the devil, talking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Sanhedrins as at that time, because these are a group of people who come against the truth then. He said, ye are of your father, the devil. And he said that he is a murderer, and you fulfill the lust of him. Now, what is the lust of the devil? Now, let me tell you, first, you must understand the devil to understand the lust of the devil. Am I correct? Reasonable people who can bear me witness. You must understand the devil, what the devil means, or Satan, who he is, before you understand what the features of the devil can be. That means by the time you have a definition, then you can, from the definition, you can begin to get the facts and get more about the expressive form of the definition, which talks about the features, because it is the features that actually gives you a rounded definition. But you must first understand the content of the devil, or who he is. And from then you can now express fully from the point of exhibiting these features, you can now understand the fullness of what the definition is. Just like what I used to say, my normal narrative is the meaning of the beginning is in the ending, which means that when you begin a thing, you might not know the fullness of it until you get to the point of the ending, when you have been able to exhaust every information about it, and then you can now tell better what that thing is. And at that point of telling better what that thing is, it begins another beginning of knowledge, a process that will bring you to another end to begin again. So it's a long process. Now, I hope I'm not going too deep in, in psychological details here, because I want us to understand. I want to communicate. Please just let me know if you are getting to understand what I'm saying here. If you're not getting to understand me, please just let me know so that I can calm down, and all of that. Now, Jesus or Yehoshua in this scripture, John chapter 8, verse 44, said that ye are of your father the devil, and he's a liar from the beginning. The truth is not in him. That is why he's a liar. Now, which means that whenever somebody is a liar, that person does not have truth in them. Because you cannot say or tell lies at the same time you are telling the truth. No, it is either you're telling a lie or you're telling the truth. That is why Jesus said in the book of Revelation chapter 3, he was saying that because you are neither hot or cold, you are just warm, I'll spew you out of my mouth. That means it is so critical, it's repugnant for you to even be warm. You must not be sitting on the fence. You must either be here or there, which means you must either be a devil or you must be a light. You must either be the son of Chukwokike or you must be the son of the devil. These are two things. You cannot put your leg here and put your leg there. You are warm at that point and you will be spewed. That's what Christ was trying to say. Now, let's bring it to the context of this definition. Now, we want to know who the devil is. The one that Simon was talking about, the devil he was talking about. He said, even if it takes me to patronize the devil, that's what he said. I don't want to display that his nonsense here. Anyways, but all of you have seen that tweet and all of that, the pronouncement and all of that. And you have seen Raph, the E-Frog, gyrating on that matter and displaying his ignorance. You see, the more they open their mouth, you see, Simon just put people around him whom he knows he can manipulate. That's why he was afraid and scared of us, because he knows we're not people you just come and tell some stuff. When you tell us some stuff, we reason it out and we give you some information about it. He knows we're tough when it comes to reasoning. So that is why the issue of defrauding Biafrans, using all this narrative of covering matters and trying to make blurred issues so that you don't look at them critically. He couldn't handle them with us, because we will tell you what it is. We'll tell you, no, this is wrong, this is right. We will tell you straight to your face that this is not part of the spirit of Biafra. This is not what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood for. And when it came to the issue of the currency, we made him understand this is not what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stood for. It is against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because it is like exuding the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when he's still alive, but he's only critically in a situation which demands you to go and save him by the fact that you have projected yourself and we have all supported you, and you have now proven that you are there for the people and we are supporting you and the people are giving you funds. So what you need to do is to make plans to make sure he's free. Then when he comes out, he's going to talk about the currency thing. Even Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself says that the currency thing is not in his power. It is in the hands of Biafrans. Okay, Kunon View says, understood, seems you're getting deep. Okay, I'll try not to be so deep. I'll try not to be so deep because I want to. Now, let me bring it plain now. Now, Jesus said in that scripture that they are of their father, the devil, and they are fulfilling the lust of their father, of the devil. And what is that lust of their father, of the devil? He said he's a murderer from the beginning, and he abides in lie, and he is a liar, and so the truth is not in him. So which means that whenever you are not in the path of truth, you are a liar. And whenever you are a liar, what you do would cause death. Now, what does it mean to cause death? It means that anytime you come against anything by your words, by your actions, by your behaviors, and you come against a truth, or you come against something, or you make somebody sustain losses, injury, or whatever it is because of your lies, you have actually caused a scenario of murder. So murder is not restricted to killing somebody like Cain and Abel, and when Cain killed him, or like how Simon has propelled Nigeria agents to come to kill ESM. That is not only. Simon has also succeeded in killing or murdering the people around him. So they cannot reason properly because their brains, their reasoning faculty is murdered. That's why somebody like Rafa Jerry will come and display his ignorance, praising someone who says that he's ready to patronize the devil, because his mental faculty is so debased that he is connected to a source that is of the devil, which is Simon. So because Raf's brain or mind and his cohorts, the rogue team and all of that, and all of them, and because they are demonic, their brain have been subjected to the source. That is the devil the Bible was talking about. Now, remember, I told you that the word father means source. So when he was talking about the father, you're of your father, the devil. He was talking about you're of your source, the devil. Simon said he's going to patronize devils even to get Biafra. And it is not possible because Biafra is truth. So there's no way you can subject yourself to, to the dictates of devils to get the truth, to get truth, to get truth. Now, let me go further. He says, or he said, that he's going to patronize devils. Now, let me get you to the point of understanding devils. Now, in that scripture, Jesus said, the word devil means lies. Now, yesterday I told you something. I said it's getting dark here. Sorry for I'm getting darker here because it's getting dark here. The light's not on yet, but very soon I'll put it on. Now he said, you are patronizing, you are operating in the lusts of your father. Now, what does that lust represent? That gives us a clue to who the devil is. He said the devil is a liar and a murderer. That means lies and murder are together. You can't separate it. Because when you lie against the thing, you actually murdered it. Because you murdered it in the minds of the people who should understand it well. So you gave it a wrong definition and you have murdered the real definition of that thing. That means you have brought falsehood on it. And what is the meaning of lie? This is where we come. If you check the dictionary, you will see many different many definitions of lies. Lies means something that is not true, that is untrue. Lies means something that is not existent, that does not exist. Go and check your dictionary properly, you'll see it. Now, but let me play that word of Mazin again to remind you of what he said about truth, and then we can take it up from there, and I'll explain better, and I'll go deeper into the revelations that I want to give to you about how demons are being patronized by Simon, Azuka, and the rogue team to defraud you. Watch this.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, kiss goodbye to Biafra. Biafra can have in the pure years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the grace of the Lord. You have to be of the covenant. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you. Rather than you running from them, your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That's Chiku Okike Abiam left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. Biafra Gahabia. Going to a native doctor, Didi Anyanzu, cannot save you. If you want Biafra, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwukika is our shield and our guide. We don't commune with darkness.
We don't commune with darkness. We don't commune with darkness. Now, imagine Mazen Amdekano speaking in this particular audio broadcast and speaking decisively and very, very firmly to the people that love truth. He said, we don't commune with darkness. We don't commune, we don't join with darkness. Now there's something I want to ask people who reason here. I want to ask you this question. Why will Mazen Amdekano be talking about light always, saying we're children of light? We are white and whiter than snow and whiter than white. And then someone who claims to be his disciple comes to tell you that we will patronize the devil to get the light, to get the whiteness, to be whiter than white and whiter than snow, to get the same freedom that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have said several times, that we cannot patronize demons to get. Why would someone come to tell you that the same thing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is talking about, getting freedom, is the same thing he wants to get by patronizing the same devils that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu says we don't patronize? Why don't you ask yourself critical questions as a reasonable person? We say Biafrans are wise, but the truth about it is that Biafrans are not wise. The truth about it is that some of Biafrans are smart, but not wise. So on the realm of smartness, you need wisdom to adjudge the positioning or the application of smartness into activities that are beneficial to the world. When your smartness does not benefit the other person, your smartness is in a cunning way, like the devil when he came to the garden and manipulated the woman to take the stuff to eat. So what she was able to do is to outsmart the woman in reasoning. But the woman was not wise to understand. She was only cajoled into this stuff and gotten into the realm of being deceived, because she thought she was smart enough to respond, but she was responding on the realm of smartness, not in the realm of wisdom. She was only expressing the things she had been told. In fact, she went so far that even God, that saying that to even lie in that context, she said that God told her not even to touch the fruit. God never told her not to touch the fruit. God just said, do not eat this fruit. She told the devil, when the devil came, have you been told not to eat? He said, no. He said, God even said we shouldn't touch. So when you begin to patronize lies, you begin to get out of context. That was when the devil was able to make him understand some stuff by outsmarting her, because she thought she was smart. So what we do, that is why I was telling you guys something yesterday. I said, some of these pastors who come to create a story, to give you a narrative so that they will be able to make you believe that God can perform miracles. Some of them will create a false story that never happened. All these so-called pastors, they create a false story that never happened. And they want to make you believe that God is miraculous and powerful. And the people will shout, oh, praise the Lord, and all of that. They want the people to do what they want them to do by manipulating the people to believe in a story that is not real, even if they are trying to make you feel that God is great. To you, in your mind, you think that God is great, but the truth about it is that they are only trying to manipulate you. The same way also Simon and his rogue team, the process here, when they come to make you feel and excite you with their words, using the tactics of religious beliefs and religious system, which Britain introduced to the zoo. And the false pastors now bought or cashed into and started manipulating the people. The same concept Simon is using here. The same concept Tinubu used, giving people robes. The same concept they keep using. It is always connected to this British shenanigan. Now, let's go back to this. The word lie means not true, which means when somebody is a liar, that person is a carrier of things that are not true. So when the Bible calls the devil a liar, it actually says that whatever the devil says is not true. Now, critically in that book of John chapter 8, verse 44, the last sentence there says, he is the father, he is a liar, and he is the father of liars. Which means that there is the devil, or there are devils, or demons, and there is Satan. Satan is the father of these devils who are also fathers of lies. So which means they have the same features, even if they are different persons, but under one particular program of lie. So the context of lie is fundamental, and the offsprings of lie is connected to the fundamental. I don't know whether I'm making sense here to some people who are very reasonable. Now, it's just like when you say, you say he is God. And then he says, now God now says, ye are gods. Now the fundamental here is God, because he's the supernatural and the sovereign. But when he says ye are gods, it doesn't make you sovereign or supernatural. It only makes you a connected vessel tapping from that source of supernaturalness. So, which means God is fundamental, omnipotent, omniscience, omnipresent. And he is fundamentally God of all things of creation. He is Elohim, the eternal, the all-sufficient God, the God not created. And he makes us gods because his spirit is in us, that gives us direction and gives us revelation from him who is the source of all things. The same way, when you talk about the father of liars, the devil is fundamentally a liar. He's the father of liars who are also fathers of lies. Just like when you say ye are gods, because you have the features of that fundamental God. But you are not sovereign. It is only God that is sovereign. Even if ye are gods. So even if we are gods, we are not the sovereign God. So we have the devils. Now Simon gives the statement and tells you here that he's going to patronize. It will take, even if it takes him to patronize, devil, Satan. The two words were used. If someone can remind me whether it's demons or devils. Anyways, when you talk about demons, we're talking about the devils also, and then Satan. Now, which means that these people he is talking about, whom he is going to fundamentally patronize, are also liars. And I have told you that lie means not true. That means it's not real. It's just like you. Now, I want to give you a picture. Just have a picture in your mind. I believe that most of us have seen during the sunny times, when it is very sunny, you look on the tarred road, a tarred road, coal tar, this tarred road. You look afar, it will look like, especially when you're doing these long journeys, when you're traveling to the east, or to all the north or those places, going on a far road, or anyways, on a tarred road that is just like that. Now, when you look afar, you will see something that looks like it is real. It's a mirage. You will think there's water up there, and you'll be wondering, wow, this looks like what. Those days when we were little, we almost got beaten by our parents because we almost get ourselves lost. You keep going. You keep going. You want to go and see the end of that mirage. When you get close to it, suddenly it disappears. It goes further. And you keep going until one time your mother will beat you very well. Where did you go? You are following mirage. You are following a mirage. How can you be following a mirage? You came to the first place. You saw that was a mirage. You now look forward. You now saw it in front. Still, you don't want to believe that it is a lie. You still were going further to see it and keep seeing it. Oh my God. Now, let me explain that. Let me use that to explain how Biafrans are reasoning. Now, you see that, sorry, I'm trying to get some data so that the network does not finish, because it seems so that I don't get distorted or cut off. Okay, so now let me explain that again. I want you to reason, because you see, the only thing that can help us, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have talked several times about reasoning, the ability to reason. And God was making him speak to us about to reason. Don't be an animal. Don't even be less than an animal, because animals don't reason. And anytime since you have the faculty to reason and you don't reason, you become less than animals, because you will behave in a way that is so worse, because animals are already programmed. They're already working on instinct. We already know how they're going to behave because they are instinctive. But when a human being does not use their brains, you don't even know how they're going to behave. They're going to behave less than. They can be very horrible. Now, I want us to reason critically, because all this time of deceiving ourselves here in the name of we are looking for Biafra, eating everything, digesting everything, believing everything is gone. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it in that particular broadcast. You will not get Biafra in deceit. You will get it on truth. So when it comes to truth, you must analyze critically to know. You know what God said to Samuel? He said, man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks in the heart. God is sovereign, so he sees, he already knows everything, including the definition of what is expressed in the outward appearance. But you look on the outward appearance. So from the procedure here, as aligned by that statement by God, the outward appearance comes by a tactical definition of what is being laid out at a particular time. So which means that if you are going to talk about the outward appearance, you are going to look at the intent. For instance, somebody wants to go to a ballroom. You know, a ballroom where they all this dancing room. You know how they dress. Somebody wants to go for a burial. You know how they dress. Somebody wants to go for an entertainment program. You know how they dress. Somebody wants to go for maybe one of these religious services. You know how they dress. Now, this is significant because our appearance gives us a definition of our intention. When you see a man dressed in, someone dressed in black somehow, oh my God, Edith, you're correct. There's no more respect from the Biafra people. That's the truth. And you see, when you see somebody dressed in black and all of that, sometimes you, especially when you see them in a group, you believe that these guys are going for burial. You know why? Because by their attire, you have been able to, you understand what I mean? You have been able to diffuse or to get facts about what their intention is. So which means that anytime you are told anything, the same thing applies to whatever you hear. When it comes to serious matters as Biafra movement and freedom, you will do yourself the worst harm in life when you just swallow everything hook, line, and sinker. In fact, you are digging your grave and the grave of your generation if you are not able to analyze every detail. You see what we're doing under the accountability group, transparency? We analyze every detail. When you bring a point, we look at it critically. We look at it critically so that we will make sure that we are all in the same template. We are all pursuing the same goal. We question ourselves critically. I don't want to say something. I just remember one argument that is ongoing. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say an argument somewhere. I don't want to say where it is because I don't want the people to now. I just look at it. Now, you see, I was just, as much as I was seeing lapses on some compromising statements, I was also reading in between lines and trying to reason 10 ways about what is being submitted by everybody in that group. And one thing that came into my mind is that even if we are having some submissions that are not appropriate or some compromising or some kind of stubborn decisions and stubborn, some people just, this is what I know, this is what I believe, this is what I must do, this is what I believe. No, you can't tell me to do this, this is what it is. All this kind of stuff, and all of that, and we don't consider, sometimes we just get emotionally carried away, that we don't understand the tactics of collective operation. Where we want to, it is me, and all that. You don't want to agree to other people based on logical definition or logical analysis. Now, one thing I came out, in that argument was this: everybody was focused on getting results, but everybody was subjecting every detail that is submitted as in interrogating that detail or investigating that detail to make sure that this detail must come to conformity with what everybody believes. That is what we do in accountability group. We analyze things. When you say something, we don't just, hey, he has said it. No, let's go. No. When I say something, people ask questions. When somebody says something, I ask questions. When that thing is not clear, we ask questions. Sometimes we even quarrel on it. No, this cannot be. And then we agree. You know why? Anything that is important to life, you must pay critical attention to it. That is why God said, man looks in the outward appearance. Because we are limited in our reasoning capacity, because we are not supernatural and we cannot probe into spiritual things beyond how we are given the ability to reason these things out, we would always argue things on the natural. That is why God limited our ability to supernatural things and gave us a brain. He gave us a brain so that we can process information. Now, for those people who have become e-frogs and stupid, when someone comes out to tell you, I have done this, you jump up. When he tells you, I am doing this, you jump up. When he tells you, this is what I'm saying, and I'm going to patronize demons, you say, oh, you know why? You are just another robot. Let me just use a mild word for you. You are just another being that has lost relevance in the realm of human endeavor, operation, and human existence. Because your mental faculty given to you, because you are limited to spiritual things or to the realm of mysteria, you are limited at that point. God gives you the brain to reason. Now somebody brings information, and anytime he puts that information in you, all you do is jubilate and you swallow and you move around and you begin to fight to kill other people for that information. Somebody sent me a threatening message, and the person was saying that he knows where I am, blah, blah, blah. I've been receiving many of them and all of that. And when I just see it, I just send them, you are a fool. Sometimes I don't respond to them. Hey, I know where your family is. I know where your father is. I know where your this is. I know where you know where my parents are. You know where my people are in Biafra land. Yet you say I'm not a Biafran. You see how stupid they are. You say I'm not a Biafran. Yet you say you know where my people are. You say you know where I'm from. And you say I'm not a Biafran. Now they send all of these threat messages. I don't respond to them. But you know what? The person is threatening me and telling me they know where I am. And the person is telling me that they are speaking the truth and he wants to come after me for speaking against them. Now, if you are not a killer, if you are a truthful person, would you be looking for somebody to murder because they don't agree with you? You saw it in that scripture, John chapter 8, verse 44. He said, he is a murderer from the beginning. And those who are his subjects are also fathers of lies. That means they are also murderers. So which means every of Simon's program. Now watch it. Watch this. The other time Azuka was telling a particular so-called commander, because these guys are calling themselves commander. I don't know why they call themselves commanders anyways, because they're not trained. He said, she was asking the guy, have you discovered the location of Mirugo? And the guy said, yes. She said, very good. Now, what does she want to get the location of Mirugo for? Because Mirugo was standing against what she was doing. You must give us account of the monies that belong to the people. You must listen to the men on ground who are hungry and they want to eat. You must give them their stuff. Now, it is now like it is in their pockets. They decide who they do for. Let me not go into those details. I'll go there later because I want to explain some things for you guys to understand. Yeah, the appropriate name is volunteers. That's what it is. They are volunteers. But they begin to give themselves commanders and all of that when you have not even developed your tactical approach to what you are supposed to do. As soon as Mazinam can compose them and they're planning and programming themselves and building themselves, suddenly people like Madubugo and all of those people came into Chinansa and all of this and destroyed the whole process. They frustrated Soronadi out of it. They worked against him, including Onyise. Worked against them because they believe those people want professionalism. No, they say no. They want their own style where they will be stealing. They want their own structure that will encourage their stealing status. That will encourage their stealing tactics. I don't want to mention some of these guys. That's what they wanted. Now, this person threatens me. And you say you are working. Now, I tell you the truth. Now, when the Bible talks about lies and murder as the same, you now understand it. When I am speaking against illegality, criminality, and all of that, and somebody's telling me that they know where I am, they are coming for me. They know where my family members are, they are coming for them. What does that mean? That means they are coming for harm. That means lies and death goes together. Lies and murder goes together. So you see, those who lie can do anything to preserve the lies, and what they will do to preserve the lie must be evil. That is why murder and lie go together. That is why people can kill journalists, because they are giving information. That's why people can kill journalists who are going into investigation. Last week in South Africa, Lesotho or so, another journalist was killed. Now, the people who are working with Simon, they claim to be on the path of truth, they're telling me they want to come and kill me. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that they are under lies, because it is only someone who is under lies that go after other people's lives. So, don't you see that the Bible is true? He is a murderer from the beginning because he is a liar. And what lie does is that it fulfills its lust. What is the lust of lies? To carry out evil. That is the lust of lies. That is a feature, a fundamental feature. Peace and Love TV. Good evening from here, Kelechi. Thank you so much, Peace and Love. If it says, oh my God, these people are evil. Yes, they are. But I don't care, because I am on the path of truth. You can't kill me before my time. It's not possible. Who are you? You can't. If you like, send me threat, send all the threat message. I have vowed that what Mazin and Bikano stands for is what I'm going to stand for. And I'm not doing this on my own. I'm doing it because I have a spiritual revelation to that effect. I wish I can call a Biafran well, I don't need to go into all these details. There are spiritual evidences that made me come into this. And that is why I must stand with Mazin and Bikano to the end. Never. So you can't kill me, because I will stand for the truth, and the truth makes me free. And now you know truth is what makes free, not lies. So when somebody is on the path of lies, looking for who to kill, and they tell you they want to make you free, don't you think something is wrong with you? Don't you think something is wrong with you? That means your brain is dead. You don't reason anymore. The reason why God gave you that brain. That is why most people are, look at that, those people that were killed in Kenya. 600 something people missing. 201 bodies have been found in shallow graves, mass graves, because they were following a man who says the end is near. You have to kill yourself, fast, pray. You have to be killed so that you can go to heaven. And he's still alive. He didn't kill his own children. Now let's go deeper. How many of you remember that song? Let's go deeper. We're gonna go deeper. MC Hammer. It's not for the children of these days. Those days, too legit to quit. Too legit to quit. I am too legit to quit. I'm too legitimate to quit. That's what it means, too legit to quit. When you hear that, too legit to quit, by MC Hammer. Go and browse it. Go and check it out. Just type too legit to quit. Legit, Legit, too legit to quit, and listen to that song, and listen to the dance, and watch the dance steps and everything of MC Hammer. Some of you don't know MC Hammer. Just go there and Google it. MC Hammer, too legit to quit. I am too legitimate to quit, because only truth is legitimate to the kingdom. And if the kingdom must be restored, then truth must be established. That is why you cannot cut off the agents of truth, because truth must be established. That is why even when they came after Christ, he rose again, because the truth must be established. The kingdom is coming. You remember MC Hammer? Too legit. Those days, I love that guy, honestly. I would just watch him, when I watch him, and my younger brother would be, talking about, James Brown dancing better than MC Hammer. MC Hammer, being James Brown being the godfather of MC Hammer, and we will now be arguing who dances better, whether MC Hammer or James Brown. And then later, because I love James Brown so much, and I love MC Hammer, and I love Michael Jackson, but I struggled within me to actually give credit to Michael Jackson that he dances more than. I just want to believe that they all Yes, MC Hammer became born again. He's a pastor, anyways. He's a preacher. He's a preacher. But that song is powerful. It's not a corrupt. In those days, they sing reasonable songs now. They sing songs that are reasonable. Too legit to quit. Too legitimate to quit. Those days, we don't even understand what it meant. We just say too legit to quit. We don't even know what it is because we were little. But later, we started understanding these things. You cannot eradicate legitimacy because legitimacy is the order of the universal structure you see today and the order of universal existence. That is why earth is still existing. That is why the heavens are still existing. Yes, the lyric makes sense. That is why everything is still existing. You know why? You cannot defeat truth. Now let's go deeper. Now, lies, because of my time, lies mean not existent. Now, let me give you the analogy I wanted to give you. I just remembered now what I want to say. Now, you remember when we're little, we look at on the third road, we see when it is very sunny, you think that there's water in front of you. You begin to go. Those days, we walk down. And we get there, we don't see we begin to wonder. Then we're little, we're curious. Why is it that I'm not saying this thing I saw here? It's in front again. See it in front. You walk down there again, you don't see it. You put your leg there. You say, why is what's going on? You begin to wonder what is the reason. Then you didn't understand, all of this scientific explanation and definition, because we're still just 4 years, 5 years old, all of that and all of that. And before we know it, we have left the house very far. We start running back as we're returning. Cane they are flogging us. How can you leave the house as little as you are? Walk away. Where did you go? Because it was dangerous. We're living close to the road. Then we're living at those of you who know Lagos very well. We're living on that Coca Road. Coca Road. If you know Coca Road very well, that road that leads into Aguda. If you know Aguda side, that's Coca Road and Aguda. That area. That's where we're living. Then I was very little. So now that mirage was taking us far and farther and farther away from home without us realizing it. Thank you so much, Biafra Pride. You know what? As we were following that mirage, we were going farther away from the house. But we were curious to get something that we never knew we can never get. I want to explain this in context of these people who are following Simon now. I want you guys to understand this. As we followed the mirage, we were going away from the truth. That means from our house where we lived. And we were chasing after something that is not real, a mirage. And the more we went further to seek to find the mirage, the more we are further away from the truth or from the house, the more we are getting into trouble, because the time you have left house for a long time, the more you're getting into trouble, you're going to be flogged. The more you might get yourself kidnapped as a little child. Those days, talk about them. Those days in Lagos, you hear bomo bomo. They say bomo bomo. That's beomo. That's what it means. So, bomo bomo. And those days where you just hear they've stolen a child, and they use the child for rituals. So those days you don't move out of the house. We are here for you, brother. Yeah. So Edith, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know you guys are here for me. Now, the more we're getting into danger, and we might fall into the hands of Gomo Gomo. Beomo, that's Yoruba. Beomo, that's take the child. Carry the child. Bomo, they call it Bomo. We call it Bomo then. You didn't know what it is. So later I started to understand that it's Beomo. That's what it means. Unless if a Yoruba person is here to say I'm wrong. Beomo, those people who steal children. But we are pursuing mirage, but we don't know that we are endangering ourselves into the hands of the Beomo people, those who will carry us. Now, let me bring it in the context of these people who are following Simon here. Simon brings a mirage, puts in front of you. You leave that place of truth that Mazen Amdekano has provided, which is your house. You jump at that mirage. And then when you get there, you discover that it's not there. And then you now see another mirage he has posted in front. For instance, let me take you through this so that you can understand what lies is. Lies is like that mirage. Now, when Simon came in, he was talking about sit at home must hold. We were saying, all of us were saying sit at home must hold. And he too keyed into it. Because every Biafran, in fact, it was just automatic. Every Biafran was telling the DOS, the members of the DOS, that we must sit at home. And Simon too was supporting what everybody was saying, and also as a Biafran was saying to himself, we must sit at home for Mazen Abdikano. And we all did, even if it was truncated by the activities of the defunct members of the DOS, there were still activities. Then suddenly, we are not going to go into the elections, and everybody was saying that. But before we know it, those who were bought over by Nigeria politics and all of that keyed into it, and then the election was organized. When we saw Simon was resilient in that direction of going along the minds of the people and doing what the people want, everyone started running around him. We started rallying around him. We started talking about him, convincing people, making them understand that this guy mean well. We have to follow this guy. Since he's already out there, we have to follow him. And based on the fact that Mazen Namdekano says he should broadcast on Radio Biafra, that sentiment of broadcasting on Radio Biafra, that emotional approach we gave to that sentiment became the reason why everybody endorsed Simon. And when he came on there, he started talking tough on behalf of the people. He started the exposition over and over, exposing Chikedozie, Chinasa Nworu, all these guys, exposing the atrocities, holding meetings that Chikedozie never told him to hold. If you want to go in that narrative, just like those who will say, why are you holding meetings when Simon has not called for meetings? I wonder when Simon became the sole person to call for meetings. I wonder who gave him that power to be the one to call for meetings. Anyways, that's by the way. Now, he began to expose these people because he needed you people to understand the lies. Lies are meant to be exposed so that those who are easily misled, those who pursue after mirages, will be educated. If my father or my mother have come to tell me, then if I've gone to ask them questions and say, this thing I see, I don't see it. And when I go there, I don't see it again, I see it in front. If I've gone to ask them, they say, no, this is what it is. It is just a reflection of the sun on the third road. And when it is heated, it gives you that kind of stuff. If they have explained to me, as at that time, I wouldn't be chasing after this mirage every day. So the role of teaching is fundamental to the actions we take after the teaching. That is why we come on here, this platform, every time to talk to you about the lies so that you can reason. Because by the acts of Simon, some people's brains have been locked up. They can't reason properly. BNL's leader just posted on his Facebook page that he will be traveling to India for surgery. Says he's waiting for hospital confirmation. Those guys are not serious. Someone now Biafra money now. Now Biafra money. That is the mirage that most people are chasing. They are sharing the money amongst themselves. And they will give you, look at Azuka in December. Came up, my house has been burnt. The army came to my house. They brought armor tank to blow up a house. And the house is still standing very, very solidly. If only one is watching, why not you leave so that nobody will be watching? Chimex Destiny, look at the name self. If only one is watching, why not you leave so that nobody will be watching? E-Frog, come here to tell me that only one is watching. Do you know how far this truth goes? Come here to tell me only one is watching. Now listen. Because of that mirage, we were misled. Now Simon positioned that mirage, and suddenly he was. And then there were attacks in Biafra land. He comes to talk tough and tells the people, tells the Nigeria agent, you have done this, we're going to do this. And then everybody is excited. We rush to that place where that mirage is. That date comes. Nothing is done. Nothing is done. He keeps telling you that we are still coming for this. We are going to do it. And everybody believes. We keep running. He now begins to drag us to another point of the mirage. The mirage is still in front. That means he's telling you we'll still do it. That means it's in front. We run there, we run to that place again. He tells you, you have killed people in Izombe. We are going to make sure that we stop oil drilling in Biafra land. We're going to stop oil exploration in Biafra land. We're going to stop everything in Biafra land. And then everybody rushed to that date that he has set. And then everybody gets there. It tells you that, the target is 150 days. We're going to get everything done. Everything will be completed in 150 days. And we're going to be going on lockdown. So sit at home, blah, blah, and everything. 5 days sit at home. 3 days sit at home. In November, another sit at home. We got, let's go. It's good. Let's keep counting the 150 days. It's remaining 24 days, 23 days. Another mirage. It's going to happen in the 22nd day. No, let's wait until the 2 days or 3 days before. Oh my God. So where someone come from? They will not ask. Rather, they will be asking me where I'm from. And yet they'll be saying they are coming, they know my family in Biafra and they want to go and attack my family. Yet they're asking me and they are telling me I'm not from Biafra. So now the mirage and moves everybody. And then now the same way we were ignorant, the same way these people were ignorant. And the more they moved away, thinking the mirage in front is going to be seen in front. The mirage, that thing they saw here and they came here, they didn't see it. They're going to see it in front. They keep moving and keep moving until they go far away from the house and they got caught by the enemies. Either Fulani cut off their head, or either Nigeria destroyed them, or whether their farmland is something happens, just like those bomb of those days. We were in danger of those bomb. Thank God I was not kidnapped. Of course, we were not always pursuing the mirage because in our house we were very strict. My parents were very strict. My parents were very strict. Somebody sending message, I want someone to pass broadcast, audio broadcast. Can you imagine? Now me, they ask for someone to pass audio broadcast. I'm not serious. Oh my God. This one said this so-called is it not what those people who call themselves pastors and evangelists is doing in Nigeria? Money and support Nigeria. It's not what they're doing. They say, give me money and I will support the Nigerian government. Mad people everywhere. What it concern us, concern you. If you like, go and collect money and join Nigeria. Now Fulani go cut your head now. Conan V says, anybody believing that Simon Ekpa will get free Biafra is like believing that a goat will give birth to an elephant. Impossible. Oh my. Living us says, how can someone be PM of a country, hide his identity? That's it. And he's PM. But he knows he's not a PM. That's why he's hiding it, because he knows he cannot be a PM. He's just on social media making noise. Now that's mirage. That's mirage story. This mirage story. I'm taking it cool on this mirage so that people can understand. You are like us when we were little. You were like us when we were little. We were pursuing what was not there. So that means anybody who is following Simon now has a small mind. Because we had a small mind. We were limited in our reasoning. So we didn't know what was real. We were chasing clouds. We were chasing things that are not there, even if they seem to be there. We assumed they were there. We felt that something natural or supernatural was taking them away from when we get to that point. It takes them further because the answer is in the front. We kept going further and further and getting further away from our homes. Some people might have even done that, and maybe along the line they got lost. Some people might have even gotten lost based on the fact that they actually chased some stuff like that, thinking that they were going to get it, and in the end they got into trouble. You become a victim of circumstance when you don't understand facts and things that are supposed to be made known to you at a particular time. In fact, what you know is your limitation, and what you can learn is your increase factor. Because what you can learn gives you an information of a particular dimension at a particular time. And at that particular time of knowledge, you now free yourself, or you save yourself from a danger that not knowing that thing at that particular time would have brought your way. And at that time of that learning, then you must learn further to go further. Because instead of going with the mirage further and further, keep learning with that mirage to understand that there's nothing like this. But just go on. Yes, I'm looking at the time. But just go on, because you know that that when you learn from this, the next step you're going to take is not going to be like the same step you took initially. Because how we are going with Simon now, we have come to understand from the followings and from the things we have been doing with him, that he's not genuine, that's not truthful. So we know that he's a liar and he's been lying. And so from the things we have learned following him, we're now coming to make you understand that you cannot go that way. So which means that that mirage that is projected in front, we know it's not real. Somebody was telling me before I came on live broadcast, because I just have to make that call, because I told him a long time that I'm going to call him because he had been talking with me. And I said, I'm going to call him, but I couldn't discuss further and deeper into facts because of this broadcast. I was saying that since but why I should calm down, that since Simon has talked about May 29th, maybe let's watch it. Let's watch it and see how this May 29th will go. And I begin to wonder, I begin to tell myself, oh Lord have mercy, Lord help us all, Biafrans. Because I know that Biafrans are not wise. Honestly. I am telling you, wisdom is not smartness. There's a difference between wisdom and smartness. Now, let's look at this critically because I want to round off quickly. I know I cannot exhaust this discussion here because there are so many things I want to talk about, and especially going in the direction of the liar and then bringing the facts of the lies. Now, when the Bible called the devil a father of lies, he connected it to murder. Today, you see Simon's men. All they do is tell you that they know your family, they know this, they know that, they are going to come to kill you. That is murder connected to lies. So anybody who is on the path of lie, now watch this. You discover, now even some of them come on social media to post it live. They don't hide it. Like one ROS that said something about me or that he knows my friend. Some inbox on my Twitter. Some on my Facebook, they tell me they know where I am, they know where my family is, they know where my, everything, and they're going to go there, you're going to get them. I should watch my back, I should do this and all of that. They're coming. Lies and death, killing, go together. That is why in that book of John chapter 8, verse 44, Jesus said it critically, that he's a murderer. Because you know why? Because he is a liar. Every liar goes to the extreme to make sure that the truth is exterminated. That was why Jesus himself was killed. Because lies want to exterminate truth, and it exudes every action of evil to do that. Anytime you see lies move, it requires evil actions to continue. That is why they cannot stop without telling you they are coming to kill you. That is why they will not stop by trying to set you up to get your location. That is why they will not stop. That is why Simon would go and divide. That is why Simon would divide ESN camp by recruiting a killer, Butuzo, to himself, who has killed our people and now recruits him. The same Butuzo is being used by the Nigeria agents, still used by Soludo and all of that, and then still used by the zoo. The same Butuzo also is the one Simon is contracting to carry out a program he calls the truth. This is the same mirage put in front of these those who don't see properly, those who are deceived, and they think that something is happening. But you must understand this. I'm going to be rounding off here because I want to take these things deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'll be opening your minds to these facts by making you understand these things in details. Because if at this level you don't understand that you are being deceived and manipulated, then something's wrong with you. And let me tell you something. Anytime you are manipulated and deceived, anytime you are continually manipulated and deceived, you are prolonging Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's situation. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gives to you and opens to you the truth, because he knows it will come to a time when that truth he has given to you becomes the material you need, or the program you need to help him come out of the den of the enemy. Because it is when you speak the truth, you will carry out actions that will help Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to free. So when he gave you the gift of the truth given to him from heaven, He expects that you understand it now, so when you see lies, you recognize them. If you have actually recognized lies, by now you'll be on Simon's neck. Why is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still in DSS dungeon for 2 years? If you have recognized lies, by now you'll be telling Simon to his face. Why are you giving yourself titles? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in DSS dungeon. I'm wondering how power supply has been disconnected here. It's strange. But anyways, we keep on. You know, I've become like a shadow. So let me close the video so that you can see you can hear my audio. Now I'm going to be rounding off here anyways. I'm going to be rounding off here. Let me end it here so that I don't know why power supply is disconnected. So let me end it here, and then so that we can continue next time. We can continue next time. We can continue next time. So let's just end it here. I'm going to end it here because of the power out. I don't know. It's horrible to know that power is out right here. Although it's not going to take long, it's going to come back. But let me end it here because I don't like speaking just audio. I like speaking video. So let's end it here. We're going to continue this narrative tomorrow, and I believe that I'm going to have some of my comrades be part of this tomorrow. We're going to talk about lies, and we're going to express. I want people to give their own perspective. And Prince is already commenting on the session. The comment section says no lies without having something to hide and steal. That's it. And of course, if you want to steal and hide, you must get some people, greed of some people to do that. And that's why murder goes along also. He says lies are accompanied with stealing, cheating, deceiving, and killing. That's it. That's why Jesus said in Luke and John 10:10 that the thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and to destroy. Those are the faculties of lies. Those are the faculties of lies: to kill, to destroy, to steal. And those are the faculties of lies. Now we're going to be talking more tomorrow. Tomorrow, by God's grace, tomorrow is Saturday. We're going to be talking more. We're going to talk more because this is the time to talk. As much as we are doing what we have to do to make sure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is free. And I'm calling on all of you, please, if you want to be part of this, if you want to be part of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being free, we're calling on you. Those of you who have what it takes and who know what to do, you can call that number on screen right now. You want to be part of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu being freed. This is the time. This is the priority we have now. The most priority now, the top of the priorities we have now is the freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If he has given us that order, then we must carry out that order. Let me play the order one more time so that you will know that this is serious. Now listen to it and come. This is the time to. This is now the time you're going to prove your love for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is the time. This is not the time for selfish expectations or a selfish grab here and there or selfish actions. This is the time to show this man that has sacrificed himself. This is the time to show you love him. Watch this.
Worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. Yes. The worst mistake ever. What is saying now? I am taking IPAB to Abuja on the 17th of next month in our court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
Hey, we take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, born Nigeria down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that is to remind you of the order. That is to remind you of the order of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And we must carry it out. He must be freed. So wherever you are, you love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you want him to be free, call this number. We are discussing under the auspices of the Accountability and Transparency Group, in connection, with everyone who is truthful, who believes in accountability, especially those of you who have come to understand the truth Mazi Nnamdi Kanu speaks, because truth is is custodian of freedom. It is only truth that gives freedom. So if you are part of those who want to be free and part of those who want to actually achieve this, call and let's work together, because we have a limited time to do what we have to do together. We are contributing funds. Everybody, including me, we are contributing funds to make sure we carry out this action of getting Mazi Nnamdi free. And we have to carry out this action of getting Mazi Nnamdi free. He must be free. He must take care of his health. We must take him to hospital. We must take care of his health. We must get out all the toxic stuff that have been put in his body over these 2 years. We must make sure he's treated. We must make sure he becomes okay. We must make sure he will be in forefront to lead us into this freedom. Because the biggest mistake they've made is to actually arrest him. And that is the mistake that will bring Nigeria down. And that is what we're saying. So be part of it. Don't fail. Also preach the gospel of freedom for Mazi Nnamdi to other people. Reach out to the people you know. Tell them to come. Call this number and join this force. You cannot be there and jubilating and then allowing Mazi Nnamdi to be there languishing. And this is a mandate and an order. It is an order on you unless you are not under this oath that Mazi Nnamdi profess, that oath of truth. Because truth is the oath that we profess, we embrace, and we walk in. So you must be part of this. So please, I'm telling you right now, we're not begging you to be part of it, but please, you must be part of this because it is important. And that is how you prove that you love Mazi Nnamdi. Go all out and speak to other people. Show your love for him by evangelizing him and telling them that you want him to be free. The same way also we go about and evangelize Christ because we love him for what he's doing for us. Evangelize Mazi Nnamdi, he must be freed. We need everyone to come together to achieve this. Thank you all. I appreciate you. I'm going to play that order one more time to end this broadcast. Please join us tomorrow. I think it's going to be around 4 p.m. Biafra time tomorrow. We're going to be here live. I'm going to be discussing and talking extensively about further into this matter of the Satan and the devil, and all of that. And we're going to look into these things deeper. There's some deeper facts I'm going to bring to you tomorrow. And we're going to work together. I appreciate you all. I'm sorry the video stuff is off because of the power outrage and all of that. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here, but it's good. Anyways, it's part of it. They can't stop us. We move, we preach, we go on with what we're doing. Please share this broadcast on all your social media platforms. There are some excerpts that you see on the Biafra YouTube channel, Biafra Global Network. And of course, we're going to see how it's going to be coming on Facebook also. I'm trying to connect the admin, so that the admin can also to try to fix another admin so that he will be able to do some of this stuff effectively, because he's actually the one doing some powerful jobs. The guy is just doing wonderful things for us here and contributing to this Biafra freedom with the work that he's doing. Marvelous. And you can see the excerpts. Just go through them and also share them first. You can download them and share them on all platforms. Let people begin to hear these things. And this particular message of today must be preached far and wide, so that those who are thinking of patronizing demons and jubilating that people want to patronize demons should understand that it is ungodly, it is unscriptural, it is out of the purpose of Biafra. It is not part of the program of Biafra. Mazi Nnamdi abhors it. Mazi Nnamdi hates it. Mazi Nnamdi does not believe in patronizing demons. He does not believe in the devils. And so that is why I'm going to play this one more time for everybody to listen. When Mazi Nnamdi said we cannot patronize the devil, and also I'm going to play when he gave us the order. Watch this.
If we abandon Chukwukika Biama in truth and honesty, please goodbye to Biafra. Biafra had in the pure years. You'll be only running around in circles. You can never come. It is the kingdom of heaven itself. You want to do something that is happening in heaven, on earth, for mankind to see and testify to the goodness of the Lord. You have to be of the courage. You have to be without fear in the face of your enemies. If you are without fear before your enemies will run from you, rather than you running from them. Your enemies will run from you. If you speak the truth always, regardless of the consequences, lies will run from you. You must protect those who cannot protect themselves, not to steal from them. I repeat, it is your job as a child of heaven, IPOB family member, to protect those who cannot protect themselves. That is your job. Not to kidnap them, not to rob them. You must be of good conduct. That Chiku Okike Abia left. If these conditions are not in place, Biafra will not come. And Doku Lakananti, Biafra Gahabia. Ana Akatiana, Ana Abotianobo. Going to a native doctor, Didi Anyanzu cannot save you. If you want Biafra, Ana Emetian or Deshi, it doesn't work. We don't believe in that rubbish. Chukwuka Gabiam is our shoe and our guide. We don't commune with darkness. I am warning all 17 commanders, all our commanders, we don't commune with the devil. We don't do Odeshi. We believe in the protection that Chukwuka Gabiam can offer. The weapon you need to protect yourself is your gun and your ammunition. We don't commune with spirit.
The worst mistake Buhari ever made was to arrest him. The worst mistake ever. What is going to happen? I am taking IPOB to Abuja on the 17th of next month for my court case.
We are with you, sir. We are with you.
There will be 2 million people in Abuja.
Yes. I will be there. I will be there. I will be there with you, sir. I will be there.
We take the battle to our enemies.
Yes, sir.
And let me make this very clear to you. You are under oath.
Yes.
And by virtue of that oath, you are under direct order from me.
Yes.
Any day you wake up, you hear I've been arrested, burn Nigeria down to the ground.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Power supply has been restored. I appreciate you all. See you again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Biafra time. Hopefully, 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Biafra time will be here, and we shall be talking to ourselves and rubbing minds together. Thank you so much. Share this and stay safe, stay secure. Don't chase after mirages. Every kobo, every penny, every kobo. Let's not talk about kobo because we don't talk about kobo in Biafra. Every penny will be accounted for. Anything you contribute, any money, anything we expend will be accounted for. So you have to understand that. So what we do in accountability group, we don't bear that name for nothing. We bear that name because that is what we stand for. We have the structure, transparent structure, that will process that information very well for us. And so you don't have anything to fear. Join that place. Join what we are doing because that is where we're going to get freedom. On the truth. Nothing but the truth. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you for those who are sharing, who are doing marvelous works. Thank you for what you are doing. And also, I appreciate those people who are actually promoting the gospel of truth to other platforms, sharing far and wide. My name is Kelechi Ambrose. This is Biafra Global Network. Let's say God bless you, Rego. See you tomorrow.